It's raining again. My clothes are soaked right through to the skin. Hello and welcome back to the singing entrance to the only BBC you're ever going to need. It's the Blackfoot Book Club. And it's raining again, and I was heading to my spiritual home of Ironbridge, but darn it, my plans have been curtailed. Is that the right word? Curtailed? Who knows? The Spirit of Cricket, an upside down journal from the 2023 Ashes. And as you're about to find out, both the beginning and the end is rather apt. England beaten by the rain as Harman wins the Open. Sunday the 23rd of July 2023. Your timeline of sporting madness. 8 AM. Aussie Rules Football accompanies my first cup of tea on a dull, rainy Sunday morning. I enter partway through the third quarter as the home team Demons of Melbourne extend their lead over the visiting Crows of Adelaide. I cheered for the visitors and the underdogs who repeatedly clawed their way to near parity on the scoreline before the Demons eventually ran out 97-93 winners. Always seemed strange watching football at the Melbourne cricket ground. And rather lovely. I added that little bit there. 9:30 AM, full English breakfast. A second cup of tea for the day. Prayers given to the weather gods to avoid Manchester with their rain. Jokes made on Twitter that no one in their right mind would laugh at. Remark on my childish delight when watching Oppenheimer yesterday and the notions posited by quantum physicists that the real world we all see, hear, touch, smell, taste and experience can't possibly be real. Yes, even that book you're holding on that plastic device you're reading these scrambled sporting notes on. It started raining again. 10:15 AM. Hopeful signs at Old Trafford as the opening live coverage comes from the outfield, a wet and sodden outfield, but it's not raining and an umpire's inspection is due for 11 AM. Prospects for play starting around noon are whispered amid tales from ex-England captain Michael Atherton describing last night's rain in Manchester as biblical, with over 18 inches falling overnight. Amid much mirth and laughter from fellow ex-England cricketer Mark Butcher, Atherton confirms he meant millimetres rather than inches, but soon enough the rain begins to fall in earnest once more, and Ian Ward, the third of our trio of ex-England internationals, confirms the now heavily falling rain to be horrid, and my attention turns to the Open Championship golf from nearby Liverpool with a heavy, doom-laden sigh. 11 AM, 40 or so miles away from Old Trafford beneath an umbrella of rain, Liverpool is clear with play underway and major favourites such as Brooks Koepka and Scotty Scheffler already coming to the end of their respectively poor tilts at lifting the famous claret jug. Fellow American Brian Harman may lead by 5 strokes overnight, but he has over 3 hours to wait to even tee off in pursuit of victory, and it's still anyone's tournament to win in the dreadful weather conditions expected this afternoon. 11:45 AM. It's now raining as heavily in Liverpool as it is in Manchester. Deep sigh. 12:15 PM. Listening to Test Match Special brings the good news of covers being removed at Old Trafford, an early lunch, an umpire's inspection, and play now scheduled to start at 1 PM. 12:25 PM. Covers removed, wickets prepared, players foregoing lunch for extra practice, but it started raining again. 12:30 PM. Brooks Koepka, resplendent in a rather fetching pink jumper, is having a terrible day according to Dame Laura Davis on Sky TV's coverage of the Open Golf. You want to be a fan of the England cricket team, Brooks. 12:35 PM. There's a touch of the Lee Van Cleef in Max Homer, chirped Sky TV's veteran golf commentator Ewan Murray. It's raining in Manchester, the lack of cricket is getting to me, and I've resorted to quoting majestic sporting broadcasters riffing on actors from 7 decades ago. 12:40 PM, raining again in Manchester, start officially delayed again. 1 PM, persistent drizzle at Old Trafford ensures the covers remain in place for a continuing delayed start, which clearly hasn't translated to the gaggle of England cricketers playing football on the outfield, Oh, those perfect juxtapositions of life. 1:10 p.m. Test match special confirms the drizzle has turned to rain in Manchester, and yet the England players continue playing football. 40 or so miles away in Liverpool, the rain is now horizontal, according to golf commentator Andrew Coulthart, ably demonstrated by the television pictures obscured by the rain teeming down the camera lens. England's Ashes dreams are washing away in the rain of a northwestern English summer. 1:45 p.m. I've opened a packet of chocolate eclairs. It feels like a chocolate eclairs kind of afternoon. It's still raining in Manchester as Northern Ireland's Rory McIlroy drills a ginormous putt for a birdie through the driving rain of Liverpool. 2 p.m. as Rory McIlroy adds a further birdie to his total to stand 7 shots from the still yet to tee off leader Brian Harman. The rain is teeming down in both of these storied northwestern cities, with Ian Ward describing the current weather position in Manchester as appalling and rancid. 2:15 p.m. 36-year-old Brian Harman from Savannah, Georgia, tees off his final round in this year's Open Championship on 12 under par with a 5-shot lead over the field. The multi-waggling pre-shot style of the lefty may take some getting used to for newer viewers today, but Harman impressed me in the final 2 stateside tournaments prior to travelling to England, and it's been no great surprise to see him dominate the field since the end of day 2. 2:40 p.m. A quick change of television channel, and with rain pouring off the stands and seated areas of Old Trafford, clearly play is nigh on impossible, and the day is heading for a complete washout. I love watching golf in such horrendous conditions as it makes for incredible sporting entertainment, but I write this with an ache in my heavy cricketing heart. 2:45 p.m. I've eaten all the chocolate eclairs. 2:55 p.m. Wayne Radar Riley, Sky TV's on-course commentator, now describes the rain falling in Liverpool as sideways, and through these dreadful conditions, overnight leader Harman has dropped a shot, but still holds a 5-shot advantage over Rory McIlroy and 4 other players currently tied on 6 under. 3:20 p.m. All change in Liverpool. Spaniard Jon Rahm birdies the 5th hole. Rory McIlroy bogeys the 9th hole, and Harman, a rabbit in the headlights according to Wayne Riley, drops a shot on the 5th hole to drop to 10 under, and a lead now reduced to just 3 shots. 3:35 p.m. Vienna-born Sepp Straka birdies the 9th hole to join Jon Rahm on 7 under, with both players holding second place to Harman, who birdies the 6th hole to stretch his lead back to 4 shots. 3:50 p.m. Harman birdies the 7th hole as I tentatively check in with TMS once more. The position in Manchester is described as grim, with the rain falling as heavy as on any previous occasion today, with puddles forming all around the outfield. The last rites on this Ashes series are playing out to a rain-sodden and largely now empty Old Trafford. 4:15 p.m. Rory McIlroy promises one final charge for the title with a birdie on the 14th hole to return to 6 under, but still a further 6 shots behind leader Harman, who has safely parred the 9th hole and turned for home. With the weather as bad as at any time today in Liverpool, there could yet be late drama in the coming 2 hours of rain-drenched play. 4:35 p.m. I have a soft spot for American golfer Ricky Fowler, and here he is soaked to the bone, just his trademark orange-coloured cap barely visible through the heavy rain streaked cameras overlooking the 18th green, and he finishes with a rather pleasing birdie. 4 days, all 4 seasons of an English summer, and he finishes his golfing week on even par for the tournament. Not over, not under, just exactly as square with the course as he was when he arrived on Thursday. 4:45 p.m. A horseshoe putt for par on the 16th means that Rory McIlroy's race is run for another year, as South Korean Tom Kim joins Sepp Straka in second place on 7 under, a still distant 5 shots from tournament leader Brian Harman. 4:55 p.m. Academic now, but McIlroy sinks a birdie on the 17th to move back to 6 under, but more importantly, giving the rain-soaked gallery of spectators something to cheer about. 5 p.m. Another return to Test Match Special on the radio as I listened in for the expected news of the match being abandoned for the day and a draw announced. Jonathan Agnew described the rain as belting down on the ever-widening puddles all around the outfield, whilst ex-England captain Michael Vaughan described Old Trafford looking like it was mid-November or December. No official announcement, but the end is nigh for England. 5:15 p.m, Rory McIlroy is the first clubhouse leader as he finishes on 6 under, but it won't be anywhere near enough as Brian Harman still holds a mighty 6-shot lead. 5:25 p.m. Veteran Australian broadcaster Jim Maxwell has been a favourite cricketing voice for many an Ashes series, and I couldn't help but snort with laughter as he described needing a submarine to play cricket this evening. Mere seconds later, the official announcement was intoned to all, play for the day was abandoned, the match drawn, and Australia have retained the Ashes. Damn. 5:35 p.m, 21-year-old South Korean Tom Kim is the new clubhouse leader on 7 under, but Harman still holds a comfortable 5-shot lead. 5:40 p.m, make that a 6-shot lead as Brian Harman birdies the 15th hole to stretch his overall score to 13 under par. Sir Nick Faldo opined, "It's horrible out there," as the rain continued to teem down, but the championship leader is 3 holes from home and cruising in the Liverpool rain. 6:05 p.m, Australian Jason Day joins Austrian Sepp Straka and South Korean Tom Kim in second place on 7 under. Later, Spaniard John Rahm would make it a 4-way tie for second place. 6:18 p.m, Brian in perfect harmony at Hoylake. Ewan Murray. Brian Harman, 13 under par, champion golfer of the year. Postscript. Alas, the English dream has died a soggy death in the Manchester rain. At 2-1 in favour of Australia, the holders at least retain the Ashes, and the pretenders to their crowns, plural, must do so all over again in the winter of 2024-2025. But next week's final test match at the Oval sees Australia, strangely, with more to play for than an England team that, even if they win, and I believe they will, can only draw a series they were desperately looking to win. A 2-2 series draw will still see Australia retaining the Ashes and still ensuring the visitors haven't won a series outright on English soil in over 2 decades. Huge motivating factors for an England team I see will enforce change due to the injury of Chris Woakes, as well as tactical team changes in their bowling attack that will surely see the return of Josh Tongue at the very least. For a soon-to-be jubilant Australian team, I see even higher motivational factors for what is in essence a dead rubber game. A draw or win sees them win the series outright, and a series victory in England for the old guard of David Warner, Usman Khawaja, Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazlewood, their captain Pat Cummins, the middle order batting stars of Marnus Labuschagne and Steve Smith, and their generational all-rounder for the decade to come, Cameron Green. Aside from Green, this is very possibly the final time many of the 7 teammates previously named can win the Ashes outright on English soil. A further motivational factor, and just for a little devilry to finish, a 2-1 or 3-1 Australian win will be a huge poke in the eye to their detractors for sure, but make no mistake, it'll also be a painful one in the eye for those cricketing revolutionaries from England, and a statement that however successful they've been in their reinvention of this grandest of all games, they've still been beaten on their home turf by the world champions. One final test match remains, but this Ashes summer is now over, alas. And that was a chapter from The Spirit of Cricket, an upside down journal from the 2023 Ashes summer. That gag didn't work, did it? Blimey. It's still raining. I stumbled a little bit through that one, we'll see. It's just for larks and slurps with a cup of tea from a Scrabble mug, surrounded by Salvador Dali in a Beatles t-shirt with my 3 precious little literary babies behind me. I'm rambling and bumbling and stumbling over yet another ending. I leave you in a Beatles t-shirt and with peace and in solidarity. And thanks for watching this madness.